落ちた競合飛べないカラス
What's up YouTube, it's Blackwing here with another video. So today I have a really special guest. I have Dale Don, one of my longest members. And yeah, he just got top 8 at his regionals in Africa. So please go ahead, introduce yourself. Who are you? What got you into playing Blackwings? And yeah.
Hi guys, Dale Don here. Some of you might have seen me on some other channels as well, Blackwing related. Thank you firstly Silent for having me on. And yes, I have been a member of the flock for the longest time. If it wasn't for Silent, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I learned everything about Blackwings from him. So I actually used to play Blackwings like 10 years ago. And I'm talking now like playground Yu-Gi-Oh, like where you used to play on the tar, no sleeves, like that type of MST negated, that type of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Awesome. Alright. So okay, to the deck profile. So, is there anything special you want to say about the deck? Is there any kind of MVP card that really performed really well before we go into the matchups?
Okay, I'd have to say best hand trap has to be Gamma. This card overperformed, to be honest. Whenever I saw it, it was game defining. It shifted the tide of the game. Definitely a must in the main deck. Best hand trap as well. One of the tops I'd have to say is Draw. I'm kind of actually contemplating that I should have played it in main. But Ash performed. Ash was decent the entire day. Like there was no bad time to have Ash. I just feel like Drill's a lot more impactful this format. So when I sighted in and I saw it, it was a big game changer. Then Northern burning for time. Literally 2 rounds. This card won me that rounds. So he definitely made sure I made top 8.
Yeah. By the way, I noticed that you're also playing Cosmo Dark Lady as the Smart World Bridge. How was that working for you?
She came up amazingly. Funny enough, I was actually able to do the special gust, special water, normal summon Cosmo, and my opponent looked at me, picked up my card and stared at it for a minute straight, just reading the card, and he's like, "What are you on?" It's like, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Round 1.
Yep.
Played against Kashtira. I lost the dice roll, which is going to be a trend for the day. He went first. My opening hand was Gamma, Thudri, Gale, Vata, and Chinook. Which is not a bad hand, but my opponent opens his hand. He pots for 6. I'm like, okay, you clearly have a bad hand if you're potting for 6.
Yeah.
He changed shifter, and I'm like, okay, I can't hit this with Gamma. I can't hit this with Gamma. Because if I Gamma this, I have no interruption. He's just going to full zone lock me.
Yeah.
He then grabs Unicorn out of the deck. He summons the Unicorn. I chain Gamma. I hit that one time, get it off the field. So I'm like, if he doesn't have anything else, he can't really set up too much of a big board here. He then activates the field spell. He grabs a Fenrir. He summons the Fenrir. Then grabs the level 4 out of deck.
Yeah.
He then activates Birth and summons Unicorn. And then that was just easy peasy. So when game 2 couldn't do anything, I opened Cosmo, Ash, Small World, Steam, and Gust. So I was like, okay, cool. I can work with this hand. But this is actually my first misplay for the day. And it woke me up to what format we're in. Because I've only been playing for a year competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm still new to when the format changes and getting used to it. So I activate Small World, I use Cosmo into Driver to grab the Simoon. Because as soon as I grab this... Yeah, my Optus drops the draw on me, and then I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So, I should have grabbed Water there. I feel like I would have had still a good combo there with the Gust, the Steam, and the Water, and yeah, that was a misplay on my side. So I lost the first game 2-0.
Yeah. How about your second matchup then?
So second matchup, I went against the Crystal Beast deck. I lost the dice roll again, as always, fun. My opening hand was called by Sudri, Water, Black Whirlwind, Black Feather Whirlwind that I drew for turn. It was then Gale. He goes first, full combo. Like he ends on a 3 Apple Negate, a Crystal Omni Negate Trap, the Savage Omni, and the Big Fusion that gets like to 11k attack or something.
Yep.
And then he had a Pegasus on the field and in the Spell and Trap zone with a continuous spell as well. Like he just went full combo. So I start playing through it, like I activate the Black Whirlwind, I summon the Sudra, I use his effect, I chain block him so that he can't Apo negate it.
Yeah.
And I grab the Chinook, I use the Chinook to try to like bait out his negate. He uses the Omni, he stops it, I chain Callbite to get rid of the Pegasus so it doesn't have follow up. And like we actually have a game on our hand and we're going back and forth. I summon the Vata, I go into Boreas chain 1, Black Feather Whirlwind chain 2, chain block him. I'm just constantly chain blocking him, so his Apple can't hit my monsters. The problem was, I like managed to make a Draco Berserker, I made a Former Master, but he had an 11k beat stick on the field that I couldn't get over. That could also tribute itself off, shuffle everything back on the field, and then just summon out all his banished cards.
Yeah.
So I had no way of finishing him, so he kind of just had that game under wraps with that.
Yeah.
So I rather said, okay, let's rather just go the next game. It's no point in me trying to force a game I don't have a chance at winning.
Yeah.
Opening hand, game 2, I opened some Moon, Sudri, Gale, Shamal, and Gust, which is just like amazing hand going first. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
I go see Moon, I banish the Gust, activate Black Whirlwind, normal summon the Moon. Then I get hit with Ash. So like, okay, cool, fine. I have the Sudri Nano ready. I go normal Sudri, chain 1 Sudri, chain 2 Black Whirlwind. He then hits me with an Imperm. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I have the Shamal already in hand. I grab the Water. Cool, I'm still fine. Use Shamal effect, get the Black Feather Whirlwind. I special the Water, activate the Water effect. I then get hit with another Imperm. I'm like, this man just hit me with 3 hand traps. Like, what do you still have left in your hand at this point? But I'm like, cool.
Yeah,
cool Karmic Collector. I've practiced every combo. Yeah. I've been hit with every hand trap so many times. Nicely going to Boreas. Use Boreas effect, send the Steam, link off the Simoon and the Boreas. Make Y-Streak summon Zephyros. And easy wombo combo there. Like, he was shocked. He was like, you just played through 3 hand traps like it was nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Blackwings can do that.
Yeah.
Blackwings can do that.
Yeah.
The end board was the full Falcon with a rank up, double Blackwing Assault, and a Savage Negate. He was like, how through all of that? I was like, yeah, don't stress about it.
Yep.
Game 3, finally get to side for going second.
Yeah.
So I take out the 3 small, the Cosmo, the Raiders Wing, and the rank up.
Yep.
I add in Droll because the deck adds a lot, and then I add in Dark Ruler. So the opening hand was Sudri, Shamal, Water, Ash, Black Feather, Whirlwind. And I'm like, oh damn. I need to open something really good here. Luckily, he didn't have such a good going. He didn't have such a good going first hand.
Yep.
So I was fairly able to keep it under control with just the Ash.
Yeah.
So I hit him with the Ash, and his inboard is a lot easier to handle. I top deck the Dark Ruler no more, and I'm like, okay, well, this is an easy game then.
Yeah.
The problem is, as I start my main phase, time is called. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, depending on how I can play this, I feel like I still have this game.
Yeah.
So I go, so I start the main phase, time is called, okay. So I normal summon Sudri, which he immediately Apo negates.
Yep.
I go Shamal, which he Apo negates. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I then have this. I have the actual Black Feather Whirlwind. I activate that.
Yeah.
I then special the Water. I synchro off, and the judge comes next to us because the judge wants our slip, and he's standing watching the match.
Yeah.
And I go synchro summon Northang, chain 1, chain 2, Black Feather Whirlwind to special back from grave. And Mom's like, yeah, I'm gonna Savage negate the second one. I'm like, cool, Northang effect. He's like, oh, what does that do?
Yeah.
Burn you for 800. And he looks at me, and the judge looks, and he's like, yep, Blackwings have an in-archetype way to burn you.
Alright, so game 2 victory, and let's move to game 3.
Game 3, so I'm up against Malfi Sprite. Finally win a dice roll. Can you believe it?
Yep.
Opening hand, Black Whirlwind, Simoon, Sudri, Small World, and another Simoon. My hands at this point, I was like, I just can't get bad hands anymore. Like after round 1, my hands were just amazing.
Yep.
I go first, activate the Black Whirlwind, I activate the Simoon effect, I banish the other Simoon. I search Vata and I search Gale. I then normal summon Sudri. Chain link 1, chain link 2, chain link 3, you know, just gonna go balls to the wall now, just search everything. He hits me with the Imperm here, which would have actually hurt a bit because then I don't get the Shamal.
Yeah.
But I just grabbed another Vata, another Matin, used a small world, threw out the second Vata I didn't eat, grabbed the Shamal, went full combo. My opponent then let me combo off. He's like, oh, you're gonna carry lock me. So I was like, okay, he clearly knows what he's up against. He draws for turn, he's like, I don't have anything, let's go next game.
Yeah.
Problem being now, I have no clue what I'm up against because he didn't summon anything.
Yeah.
And he only hit me with an Imperm. So now I'm going second and I'm like, okay. I'm gonna side in so that no matter what I'm up against, I have something. So I sided in Dark Rule, I sided in Evenly. I felt like, let's just have something to break a board. I don't know what I'm up against at the moment.
Yeah.
Opening hand, I open Gamma, Water, Steam, Black Whirlwind, Pot of Prosperity. My draw for turn was Ash, which we love to see, a hand trap drawn for turn. Seigo's normal summon, swap for Rock activates effect. So now I contemplate on this one, because now my toss up is, if I can Gamma this and he has no other monster to summon, he doesn't have Sprite Starter, I just win. I Gamma his swap for Rock. He's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go start, and I'm like, of course,
they
you have
always have it. They always have it, man.
Always.
Yeah.
And then his inboard ends up in like something ridiculous. Like he has the gigantic, the sprint, IP, double cross set, and he had the Malfi engine live. So when I started my turn, he went into the Herald of Arclight or the level 4 synchro. So now everything sent to grave from field or deck is banished instead, and it's an Omni negate. I was just like, yeah, I can't play through all of this with this hand. So it's like, cool.
Yep.
I'm just gonna scoop it up. Let's go game 3.
Yep.
Opening hand is Gust, Vata, Shamal, Cosmo, and Chinook. So I go special the Gust.
Yep.
Special Vata. I then normal summon Cosmo Dark Lady. My opponent just stops and he's like, what? And he picks the card up and he reads it and he looks at me. And he reads it and he looks at me. Like for a minute straight, he just does it on repeat. And he's like, what are you playing? She's like, yeah. Yeah, Cosmo
real
is
good.
nice. I then go full combo, right?
Yeah.
Set up the full carry lock and everything.
Yeah.
My opponent draws for turn. He's like, I'm just gonna scoop you, have this game. So game 4, roll the dice and a loss. So he starts his turn with reinforcements of the army, and I'm like, I know what you're going to go look for. I'm gonna ash this. I can't let you get that card. And he's like, cool, I'm gonna chain Gamma. And I just looked at him like, oh wow. Well, you opened that, did you?
Yep.
I just couldn't play through all his negates. It was just too much. Every time I did something, he knew exactly what to hit on the deck. So I just couldn't bait him with anything because he knew what he was waiting for.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. You have this game. Let's go game 2. Game 2, opening hand, Black Whirlwind, Sudri, Black Feather Whirlwind, Gale, and Vata. So I'm like, I don't care what you hit me with at this point. I feel like I can play through it.
Yeah.
Activate the Black Whirlwind, summon the Sudri, grab the arm, grab the Shamal. He then hits me with a drill.
Yep.
So he drills me. I'm like, cool. And I proceed to full combo. Like, I just set up the entire board. I'm like, show me you can break this board. Because I know your deck can't.
Yeah.
That was a mistake to say that so quickly.
Oh, really?
Yes. So what he did was, like I said, he knows my deck, right? He knows what the inboard, what the goal is. Cool. So he goes, activate the field spell. So the thing is, I'm not going to savage negate for the mere fact of he knows my deck. If I know you know my deck, I go straight into Cali, so if you have anything, I can still protect it.
Yeah.
Go straight into Cali. He's like, cool. He summons the level 2 Vanadium Meek, the water one.
Yep.
He uses the Rhyme from hand to pop it, then summon itself. The Meek in the grave then activates, because it was destroyed by card effect. to special summon another meat to the field. He then has another level 2 in hand that can special summon if he controls the Reinhardt on field, that specific condition, attack and defense.
Yep.
Summons that. He links all 3 off into Scareclaw Tryhard.
Okay.
The card's effect is all monsters on the field switch to defense mode.
Yeah.
And the card is unaffected by any monster in defense that activates its effect. And I'm like, wow, that was actually a really good play from you.
Yeah.
Like, he's a pro player. He's lost to Kelly multiple times. I'm sure he made sure to have a way to play around it.
Yeah.
Goes my turn. Start, draw phase, everything switches to defense because it's a condition and it's not an activated effect. I'm like, cool. Luckily, I had a small world drawn for turn.
Oh.
I nicely used the small world with a Gale I still had left in hand. And I grabbed a Chinook.
Yep.
And I was like, Chinook, negate, switch everything to attack, battle phase.
GG.
Clapped him up nicely. Game 3. Time is tight. We don't have much time. I think we had about maybe the round started and we maybe had about 6 minutes on the clock going into game 3. He goes, activate the field spell. My opening hand, and I'm like, I have the nuts for you. My opening hand is Droll, Gamma. I then have a Sudri, I have a Black Whirlwind, and I have a Water. I'm like, I'm winning
That's
this
insane.
game no matter what you do.
Yeah.
I'm winning this game.
Yeah.
I then go, he activates a field spell to add 1 from deck to hand. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna chain Droll now.
Yeah.
He's like, cool. I'm gonna go talents. Show me your hand. I'm like,
Ouch.
oh,
Aye.
okay. I show you my hand. He's like, you always have this Gamma in your hand. Let's put it back in the deck rather.
Okay.
Like, cool, put it in the deck, shuffle up. He starts comboing. He makes a Baron. I'm like, okay, cool. Omni, sure, I'll play through that.
Yep.
Easy peasy. The man then makes a Muddy Mud Dragon. I'm like, okay. He then links it off for a Cherubini.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you playing? He then sends a T-element from the deck to the grave. And he makes a Kaliga. So you have a Baron Omni. And I can only use 1 monster effect as well. This is under draw. This is your board.
Yeah.
And I'm looking into my deck and I'm like, literally only 1 card wins me this game now. And I draw for turn. And as I slide the card off my deck and I lift it and I see green and I'm like, please let it be. And I look and it's Dark Ruler no more and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I hit him with a Dark Ruler. And he like hits the table. Like, he's one of my buddies. He's a pro player and everything. But everyone gets frustrated. He hits the table when he's like, how do you always have the out? I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't my fault. Hit him with a Dark Ruler. I'm like, cool. The problem is now I can't burn him.
Yeah.
Now we're under Dark Ruler.
True.
Time is fairly tight. I think we had about maybe 4 to 3 minutes left on the clock. Because he played very quickly. We both want to give each other a chance. Because we both respect each other as players.
Yep.
So I tried to play as quickly as possible. So what I did was I got rid of the Baron. I set up a full armor master. And I set up a Draco Berserker. He draws for turn. He activates Weezer Starfrost from hand. I chain Draco Berserker to banish. So that means he can't tribute off the Kaliga because it pops the Kaliga on resolution. So he can't pop his Kaliga. So now he's stuck. So he just sets another card. And like, I draw for turn and there's like 10 seconds maybe on the clock.
Yeah. Battle phase.
And I have no monster to summon because he has 2 monsters in defense.
Yeah.
I have no monster to summon to just beat over some damage. And I draw Prosperity. And I'm like, Prosperity. I throw 6 cards from my extra deck. I don't even look, I just throw it. Because it's just like 6 cards off the top of the deck. I see a Sudri, I grab the Sudri. And I'm going to summon and go to battle phase. And he's like, time's already called. I still have a Black Whirlwind on the field from the following turn. I summon the Sudri. He's like, oh, you're going to activate the Sudri's effect. I'm like, no effect. You're going to use the Black Whirlwind to search. He's like, cool. I'm like, I'm going to grab Water. He's like, yes, that's fine. I'm like, special Water. He's like, cool.
Yep.
Synchro summon. Summon Northern. Activate effect. And again, the judge just came to our table to collect the slip. And the judge looks at me and he shakes his head and he starts laughing.
Again. You're doing it again.
And he's like, and my opponent is like, does that burn? I'm like, yes, 800. 400 because of prosperity, so you take half damage. I've taken no damage yet. So that's game.
Yep.
We then went to the final round. I win the dice opening hand. And if I've ever seen a worse going first hand, I don't think I have. Opening hand. I open a Gamma. Like, cool. Ash. Cool. Chinook. Alright. Black Feather Whirlwind. Okay. Shamal. There's no combo here. And I'm just looking at the hand and I'm like, I'm gonna pass to you. My opponent's like, really?
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pass to you. He's like, draws per turn. He looks at his hand. He's like, I'm gonna set 2, I'm gonna pass to you. I'm like, did we both brick? What is this?
Yeah.
I draw for turn. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't remember what I drew. I think I drew like a Sudri or Steam. It was just something I knew I could summon. It was like, I think it was a Sudri. I was like, okay, at least I can summon this. I'm like, summon Sudri, activate effect. He's like, I'm gonna chain Floodgate. Okay. Sets my monster. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna grab a water out of the deck. Can't do anything with it. But okay. I pass turn. My opponent draws. He's like, I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna pass again. I'm like, what? 2005 Yu-Gi-Oh! We're playing here. I draw for turn. I draw another Ash. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, I'm gonna normal summon water. He's like, I'm gonna floodgate that again. I'm like, cool, another floodgate. Goes his turn. He finally normal summons. He summons Mantis to search. I'm like, I'm gonna Ash that. He's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna link this off. He goes into the link 1. I'm like, cool. He goes into the Sarah. Fine. He's like, I'm gonna pass. I'm like, what is this Yu-Gi-Oh that we are playing? I draw. I finally get some chance to start comboing. I end up making one card I felt like was the only card that's gonna win me the game. I make a full armor master. I hit a Visera. Goes his turn. He summons. Activates effect. I Ash it. He goes into a Sarah. Activates the trap. The Holiday. I'm like, cool. He summons the Holiday. I use Chinook to negate the Sarah again. And like, I have control of the game. Go my turn, and I'm starting to give him more and more damage. He's on like 2,000 odd life. And he draws and he starts. Remember, I have like no more interruptions for him now because I don't have. I think I had a Draco Berserk and a full armor master at this point. He then activates a field spell. And then he activates Glamour. So Glamour tributes a monster. The field spell allows him to use my board. So we had to get a judge and rule it because I was like, can that affect the full armor master because it's unaffected? So apparently, because it's for cost, they can tribute off the full armor master. That's how the judge ruled it. Makes a Zeus and then just controls the game from there. I can't get through his board. He ends up winning the first game. Ooh, going first. Opening hand. No combo again. I'm like, wow. I don't know if my opponent is cutting my deck so that I just throw bricks. Literally no combo. And I'm like, cool, I'm gonna pass again. Empty board. My opponent's like, again. I'm like, I guess so.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
He draws for turn. He sets 1, he passes. I'm like, did you brick again? He's like, yes. I'm like, sure then.
Ultimate brick game.
Now my turn. We just building our whole house here with all our bricks. Building that brick wall. I go. I actually have combo now. I start comboing. I set up a board. Hit him for damage. Goes his turn. We have a little back and forth again. But this time I have so much control of the game because this time I was able to set up the Blackwing Assault Dragon with the Draco Berserker and the full armor. I was banishing him stuff, burning him, and then with me hitting him for damage every turn, it was just too much.
Yep.
So I was able to win that game. We both get opening hands. He goes, draw stand by main, time is called.
Okay, so he just has to burn you. But
just
does
has
he
to
play
burn
any
me.
burn? I don't think so. Does he?
Firstly, that's like my first thought. Second thing is, my opening hand is Ash Gamma.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like,
Go ahead.
as I looked at him, says, look here,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be straight with you. Does your deck have a way to burn me? So he looked at me, says like, I don't.
Okay.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Let's call it a draw. So the final score was 3 wins, a loss, and a draw.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Ended up with a 5th place finishing with that.
Yeah. And I think this is your second time in the last 6 months that you have topped original with Blackwings. Am I correct?
So yes, you are correct.
Yes.
This is the second top. The first top was in the tier 0 format,
Yes.
making 4th place or 3rd place. I can't even remember. Was one of those placings.
Yeah. After the tournament ended, was there any card that you would have changed in the main deck or side or extra deck?
There's just so much this format. This format is so diverse.
Yep.
The only real change I feel like I would want to make is maybe take Ash out of the main and put Drow instead.
Yep. Makes sense.
Just because Drow was so impactful. When I saw it, it just either switched off turns or made the inboard so much easier to deal with. But that did obviously mean changing Cosmo as well. Or maybe not actually. I don't know. I think we would have to change Cosmo then. I think maybe just Ash out of the main, putting in Drolls. Everything else I was happy with.
I have 2 more questions for you. So the one question is that I know a lot of my subscribers are currently playing Master Duel, and now when the new Blackwing came there, do you have any kind of tips or anything you could say to a Master Duel player if they would like to go and play the normal TCG? Is there anything you could kind of recommend doing, or some tips and tricks you would give them?
So thank you for that question, because I actually am a player that came from Master Duel into the TCG literally 1 year ago.
Yeah.
So that's a very good question. So number one, advice-wise coming into the TCG, understand that it's a completely different format to Master Duel.
Yep.
What you used to playing against in Master Duel will not be what you'll be playing against in the TCG.
Yep.
Maxi is not a card in TCG, which means your whole thought process is completely different when going into a match. Because in Master Duel, you always need to be wary about that Maxi.
Yep.
When the TCG is not a thing, so very different format.
Yep.
Take the time to learn your deck. Understand Blackwings. Understand every combo line that is possible.
Yep.
Practice as much as possible. When you have free time, if you're not doing anything, have an app on your phone where you can just practice combo lines. It helps so much.
Yep.
Because in an actual tournament setting, if they hit you with an Imperm and Ash, you don't have much time to think, what can I do now? You need to have it almost a second nature to just, okay, cool, next. This is my backup plan. This is the next thing I can do.
Yep.
I would say know your deck very well. Then understand the format you're playing in. So learn as many decks as possible and what they do. You don't have to be a professional with every deck, but just know what the deck is trying to do and where's the weak points in the deck. It helps so much when you understand what you're playing against, so that people always think, Gamma's an okay card, you can only use it once though. Why is that such a good hand trap? A lot of decks, if you hit them with one Gamma at the right time, you just win the game.
Yep.
Because they just scoop. They
Yep.
can't do anything.
Yep.
So understanding the deck and then understanding how to use what you have helps so much. Blackwings is a very combo heavy deck. They have a lot of gas. A lot of the times when you're going second, if you only opened one Ash and you hit them with an Ash, a lot of the times, if you have the right hands, Blackwings can push through a lot of boards. You might not be able to OTK, but you can clean up most of the boards and have control of the game.
Yep.
So have an understanding of how Blackwings work, have an understanding of the meta you're in, and then practice. Practice, practice, practice.
And the last question I have for you is actually more maybe even towards me than other players. But I know you have been one of my longest members and I'm really thankful for that. But is the membership program, in your opinion, worth it? And what are the pros of it and what are the cons? Is there something you like, especially like, or is there something you would maybe change or that you dislike? Just speak freely.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure. So personally, like you said, I am one of the longer members of the memberships. So there is obviously multiple changes of the membership that you can be, gold, platinum, diamond, and obviously based on finances that you can afford and what you feel is worth taking, you choose which membership you're gonna go for. Personally, I started off on the platinum membership when I started. At that point in time, it was more for Master Duel.
Yep.
And then I switched over now to the TCG. So it's like, I need to have more information on TCG, and that was more for members. So that's cool. I don't mind spending that little bit of cash, because honestly, it's not expensive. It's really not expensive. And I'm someone that has a completely different currency to you guys. And
Yep.
it's still not considered expensive for me.
Yep.
Took up the membership, and the membership has obviously changed because you've made a lot of new updates and so on.
Yep.
But there's someone that's been in the membership for so long. If you want to get good with a deck, now specializing to Blackwings, I feel like your membership is definitely the way to go. And I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm the one paying to say this at this point. Honestly, it's a worthwhile investment if you want to get good at the game, if you want to win events. I feel like I'm the perfect example of that.
Yep.
I came into the TTG literally a year ago. I had no knowledge of the format. The last thing that I knew existed was XYZs, and you monsters go on top of each other, and then a black monster goes on top of it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. There was a lot to learn. But having someone as a mentor to actually guide you along the way, and that you can actually ask questions like, I don't understand this. How do I do this? And you'd be like, here you go. Here's exactly how. If you have any more questions, ask. I feel like having a mentor in anything in life, if you want to be good at it, is a must.
Yeah.
There's obviously Kanak as well. A lot of people like Kanak. A lot of people in his membership.
Yep.
A lot of people like you. A lot of people's in your membership. It's whichever one you prefer. I feel like you're worth it in terms of there's a lot of in-depth things that people neglect that I learned from you.
Yep.
For example, a lot of people don't know how to side.
Yeah.
Not building a side deck. What to take out, what to put in.
Yep.
How to do it for each matchup. What's your thought process going into each matchup? And this is all things I learned from you. I would,
Yep.
you know, how someone asks you questions 24/7. I'd always drop reviews of tournaments, whether I did good, whether I did bad. I always gave you all, because I wanted feedback. Having someone to give you feedback is worthwhile, especially if they are skilled in something that you want to do. Obviously, we play very similar with our deck list. I get most of my inspiration from you. I steal from here, there, anywhere else that I see something that I want to test, I want to try. But if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am now. Like, I can say that wholeheartedly. So thank you for that, Silent. Yes, I think the membership is worthwhile, not just in terms of the deck. All the combos that you give, like there's so many times when you post a new combo and I'm like, how have I never thought of this? And then I learn something new. New strategies, new theories for the deck. And something that people actually don't really know much about is you actually give advice on cards to buy in advance for new formats.
Yep.
Which I feel like most content creators don't do as early as what you do it. Because when you drop something, I'm like, it's like weeks, if not months before any content creator is even talking about it. And I've grabbed cards for formats far before the time for so cheap.
Yep.
I'm currently sitting on like almost 10 rolls, which was a suggestion from you.
Yep.
And I'm like sitting on like almost $90 profit if I sell all those rolls now.
Yeah.
So I do feel like the membership is worth it. You're going to learn a lot. There's also going to be a community that you can talk to. Besides Silent, there is people, if you replying into our private posts and stuff, people will help, people will discuss there. Honestly, I feel like it's worthwhile. If you're not in a membership with Silent, Kanak, if you're not in the Discord, there's a Discord as well for you guys, join. It is worthwhile.
Yeah. All right. I think we are ready now. So thank you for letting me have you here. I think there's only 3 people in the whole world who have gotten 2 tops at regionals in the last 6 months, and you're one of them. And then I think it's me and Kanak. So it was a pleasure to have you here, and everybody who has been watching or listening, thank you for listening. Do you have any last words?
Another shout out to you, Silent Blackwing. Thank you for all the advice. Thank you for all the long conversations we've had and all the long replies to all my paragraphs upon paragraphs. Thank you for being patient with me when I didn't understand things and you had to maybe go over it a bit more. And thank you for everything you do for the Blackwing community. I feel like you are the founding father for Blackwings in our current meta. Yes, Kanak is the new age. He comes up with wacky cool combos and everything. But like, if it wasn't for you, neither of us would be here today. So thank you for everything you do. We really appreciate it. The Blackwing community appreciates you. Shout out to the Discord as well, the Blackwing Discord. We talk on there quite a bit also, arguing over what should be in the main deck, what shouldn't, side deck options. So shout out to all you guys. And thank you to Kanak also for everything that he does for our community. But thank you, Silent, for having me. It was great to finally kind of meet you. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I think that was it for this video today. Thank you for watching, and we're out.
それでも一人じゃなくなったあいつは強いよ。